everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today, continuing my series of perfume note videos, one of your requests was to do a video on salt in perfumes. Salt is a fragrance note. So I'm going to give you a rundown of how it's used and some of my top recommendations. If you're new here, then hello and welcome. I'm all about perfumes. I have hundreds of videos like this on perfume notes, new releases, ranges, perfumers, so do check out my other content. And if you're a regular viewer, do make sure you're subscribed and give the video a thumbs up, that really helps me. And all the perfumes I mentioned will be linked down below in the description box where you can get them all around the world where they're available. So when I think about a salt fragrance note, for me it kind of comes in two different forms. So it's usually used in a lot of oceanic, aquatic perfumes that are trying to recreate that smell of the sea, the ocean, but it's also more recently become quite popular to be used with vanilla perfumes, because it kind of takes the edge off the sweet headiness of vanilla and just cools it down a bit, makes it a bit crisper and not like overly sweet. And sort of past couple of years, loads of brands have released these vanilla perfumes with salt. And I understand that perfumers use notes like seaweed to create that salt note. It isn't, they're not actually putting salt in the perfume, but they're probably synthetic like chemical combinations that can also create a salty feel. So in terms of the more like oceanic, aquatic salt perfumes, probably the most famous is Jo Malone's Wood, Sage and Sea Salt. This one for me, it has the aquatic oceanic notes in with that salty breeze, sea breeze, but it also is very woody. So again, like a salty note with wood can recreate that smell of like the driftwood coming in on that you get on beaches. This one definitely does have a seaweed note in it, and it's quite aromatic. So when it says sage, in the title, it isn't lying. It's very green sagey, and that creates this aromatic feeling. Aromatic in perfume basically means, I think of it as like smelling like a spa, like things that grow like lavender and herbal garden type scents. I do have a whole video on the best aquatic, marine, oceanic perfumes, so I won't just repeat that here, I'll leave that link down below. But other examples are Replica from Maison Margiela, their Sailing Day, to me that really smells like being out on the sea, very fresh, watery, with that hint of that sea salt spray. And Tom Ford have their Costa Azzurra one as well, if you're looking to spend hundreds of pounds on a perfume. But yeah, I'll leave that link below, but that's definitely one way that salt is used. And then when it comes to the vanilla perfumes, probably the first one from the mainstream designer perfumes was Paco Rabanne's Olympia Original Eau de Parfum. This came out in 2015 and it really has a lot of vanilla in, but you've got this clean saltiness to it. Here the salt is really noticeable, and I noticed that this has an ambergris note in it. Ambergris, originally used in perfumes a long time ago, was something that forms in the stomach of a sperm whale. How this became to be used in perfumes, I have no idea. It's now banned, so when a perfume has ambergris in it now, it isn't really from a whale, it's like created in a lab. But I believe it's another note which has a saltiness to it that is used to create that salty scent, and that's how it's used in Olympia. On a similar vibe, Juliette Has a Gun Vanilla Vibes. This is a great vanilla, really lasts. Again, you've got that vanilla salt combination. I do find a lot of the Juliette Has a Gun perfumes do perform really well. They are quite pricey, but they do perform well. Also, Lancome's Aura, again, is that salt clean vanilla. The Lancome Idole range all have rose notes in it, so this one does still have that rose here in it. So rather than it just being the vanilla and the salt, you've also got a rose in here, which again adds to the sort of femininity and softens the vanilla note. From Furler, the Unica fragrance, also a really quite salty, clean vanilla. This is probably the cleanest, saltiest perfume I can think of. very wearable and a bit lighter. The vanilla is not as powerful as in Vanilla Vibes or Olympia, and it has a slight spicy opening that's quite refreshing, so it works in the summer. And then one which is different to the vanilla and the aquatic ones is from Floral Street, their Arizona Bloom. This one is a musky coconut, but it also has quite a noticeable salt note in it. So you get the coconut, that sort of beachy vibe, but then it really settles to be a sort of creaminess, and the salt then is sort of stopping the coconut from being overly creamy and overly sweet, and it starts becoming a little bit more musky. I believe it has like a cashmere note in here, so it's quite pretty. It's quite soft and musky, not overly heavy. It is an eau de parfum, but I find a lot of the Floral Street perfumes aren't overly heavy, except for the ones like the Dark Lotus, like the dark coloured bottles. The lighter coloured bottles do tend to be quite subtle, so again, that's probably quite nice for the summer. Cool, so that hopefully is helpful for all of you that requested a video on salt perfumes. There aren't a huge amount, but those are sort of the main ones in my mind. Let me know if there's any others you'd add to this list. I do read all your comments, so let me know what your favourite is, and they'll all be linked down below in the description box, as well as my video on the best aquatic oceanic perfumes too. But that's it, guys, so thanks so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!